Gotta put my skeet belt on. Okay, well, we got just a small amount of time to cruise. I want that to be like almost center. Yeah, that's good. Oh yeah, in horizontal mode with the camera this way, then I could be centered. My hair looks goofy. Like I look like I escaped the hospital. I don't know, dude. I'm still struggling to figure out my life without this person in it. Someone who so close to me but hadn't talked to in a little bit and was just about to be like, yeah, dude, let's hang out, let's kick it. It's just really like so tragic. But my sister said, hey, do you want his skateboard? And we were cleaning out the house and I'm like, yeah, dude, I want his skateboard. And that's what got me really choked up. If you know anything about me so far on this YouTube channel, I kind of play up the silly character of like, yeah, dude, Mountain Dew, gnarly. But really, you know, as a stark existentialist and someone who's like, there's got to be at least 3 activities in your life that bring you joy, that keep you moving on, right? And like, I've grown up most of my life defining myself as like, oh yeah, I'm this skater, stoner, fucking industrial rivet head, like play synthesizer guy. And that's not just because I grew up at the time to get into the scene or skateboarding was cool then. No, skateboarding is one of my 3 activities. You know, as the existentialist. And the thing is, sadness, anger, pain, these are all things that are okay. These are all emotions that tie us back to life. These are all emotions that make us feel something. It's boredom. It's the lack of feeling that becomes dangerous. That's what truly becomes maddening. I'm not going to really go into detail, but I just didn't want to mention self-harm in any of my videos. But when we talk about mental health and, you know, all work and no play make Billy Bob a dull boy, you know. That's not because, oh, I'm so badass because I work 60 hours. No. Good for you, man. But if you don't make time for leisure or impart those 3 hobbies that give you joy, that spark joy in your heart, then you're going to be in trouble and you're going to get to that boredom spot. And like I said just a minute ago, being bored is more lethal than being sad, angry, scared, pissed off, you know. How is that different from angry? I don't know. It's a little more knee-jerk. And what I'm saying is, although what happened is not my fault, I did not prevent it. And phew, something about Eages' personal life here. I'm the silly, funny, high energy one, right? There were so many times where I could have just been there for my family, but I was like doing my own thing, worried about my own problems, and for that I'll regret that. But back to the main point. The main point is, don't give a fuck what other people think. Don't allow that to have influence over you. Now, I know I yammer on about drugs and substances or whatever. Not everyone has had an LSD epiphany. Not everyone has had an earth-shattering ego death to be like, oh, okay, I know my place in the universe. I should love every inch of my house. I should love every inch of my neighborhood. I should love every human I come into contact with, you know. That's, I mean, unless it's like a Nazi and then you punch him in the face. See? But, yeah, like compassion and all this shit, it's not corny hippie shit. It's like you have the epiphany, you have the ego death, and then you go, oh, it's easier to get along with people than try and fight everyone you come into contact with. Oh, it's, you know, it's the right thing to do. You know, you hear those stories about, like, I did acid in the 70s, and, like, that's when I went from being a young Republican to, like, a humanitarian hippie. That's because all of this corny-ass, cheesy-ass, like, Grateful Dead, hippie stuff, a lot of those guys are fake. A lot of those guys pretend to be nice hippies, but they're really just, like, mean and even racist people. But what the substance does is it breaks down your sense of self in a way that makes you feel a little vulnerable and helpless, but in a good way. You're like, oh, I'm part of everything. I'm part of all matter. Like, you know, when you see, like, in the movies where someone is, like, portrayed as, like, having been, like, dosed, and they're like, I'm part of everything. We are all one. And, you know, it's like a corny, it's played up a little bit. That feeling is real. That feeling of connectedness is real. But now, I'm going to get moving. But what was my point? Don't give a fuck about what people think. You have to have your things that tie you to the world. Otherwise, death is not a bad option. You have to have those hobbies that you don't get bored of. And if it is something that you need to change the flavor of, get a new thing for your top 3. You know what I mean? So, like, I'm having trouble articulating on the lack of sleep. The dog was barking at a raccoon, and then the cat was meowing at the raccoon. That was outside the window, so it was like the dog's not like a super loud, obnoxious barking, but it was like woof, 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 and I was like, cool, I'm awake now. So this is why I don't let people tell me. Like, yeah, there's a lot of fucking weirdos online that are like older dudes, and like I was shitting on the Faithful Sheriff guy too, and I ended up playing with a kid who was like 11 or 12 because he was really good at the game, and we were playing, and I was like, cool, I'm just like the person that I was making fun of. Like, but this kid is so good at the game. I think he's gonna be the next generation of pro at Gears of War. But so I was saying like shit like that, right? But don't let people talk shit. People are gonna start saying to me now, like, "Hey, Unc, get off the game," and I'm ready for that. We have just a small amount of time because I was talking. No, we have a decent amount of time. Let's drive around a little bit. But yeah. Your 3 things that gotta tie you to the world. And you have to sprinkle in activities. Meaning whether you're extroverted or extremely introverted, or you stay at home all day, you have to like be like, all right, next Saturday I'm going to here. And it keeps your mind fresh, you know. And I like I'm an enigma. I love going out and I love doing things. I love activities, and like now I'm like haven't done activities in a long time. I'm overweight now, and I'm like, but dude, I also like staying at home, and like it's like a safety thing. So like I like both, right? But some people prefer just to stay at home. So, you know, you gotta break the norm. It's part of like if you've ever learned about the human brain and dialectical behavioral therapy and all of those things, like all of the stuff that like wasn't around when I was going to high school with kids that were clearly like bipolar and stuff, and like they really needed it. But it was like a Presbyterian high school, so they would have been like, no, you're not crazy. It was pretty fucking... Oh, I don't have my skateboard with me, man. I could have just like hit a trick on that flat bar in my work boots for the stream. So anyway, I know people are gonna make fun of me as soon and be like, hey, Unc, get off the game. But you know what? That game came out when I was 16. Okay? That game came out when I was 16. My brother, who passed away, was the one who bought it for me. And sometimes it's like this. It's like old guys on Fortnite. Yeah, alright, dude. Alright, come on. You know, I know that I have polarizing views and I say like really like strong opinions and be like, no, this is stupid, or no, that's stupid, right? And that like that can fuck with people, and people don't like that. It's not necessarily black and white thinking. It's more like I'll say something polarizing, but then when I explain why I think that way or why I feel that way, people are like, oh, okay, I see. You like the thing, but you're tearing it apart. Like, I like Gears of War, but man, what the last couple games were just like, like, I enjoyed the shotgun play of Gears 4 a lot. But I got so hooked on staying on number 4 that I wasn't staying current or fresh on number 5, right? Because E-Day is gonna play most like the most recent game, right? They're not gonna start from the ground up, right? They mean from the ground up. They mean like the graphics engine, the new Unreal. They're not like gonna like create new character assets. Oh wait, no, they literally did. They literally de-aged Dom and Marcus, so never mind. They would have had to do that from scratch. I don't know. I don't know how convincing. I don't know why. Young Dom looks kind of weird. He's got like a, I don't know what it looks. Maybe it looks like he's got like a big mouth and a small nose. But he looked kind of like Whoville, like Dr. Seuss kind of in the trailer. I don't know. And you know what's like great? I wish I could find it. Man, I used to be pretty good at shit and take it for granted, but I drew like the guys. I think it was Coltrane, Baird, and Marcus. So like some of the top 3 key guys, right? I drew them as like younger dudes. And then it was like fucking hilarious, dude. And like I had like little voice bubbles, and like I think like one of the Carmine brothers, or I just put a helmeted gear in the back, like hey guys, and it was just like, and so I did the voices for the scene, dude. See, but that was when I was in high school, and I could like sit there and like sketch drawings because I was bored as fuck because I already did the homework because it was too easy. Everyone used to be like, oh dude, bro, you just like sit in class and do nothing, you dummy, you stupid pothead fucking dummy. And I'd be like, but I already like did the work, so I'm just gonna sit here and enjoy my time. Why do I have to listen to the teacher talk and talk and talk when I just read it in the goddamn book and I did the lesson myself? Fuck, I hated school. Okay. I loved learning new things, but I hated school because I didn't like the people that were mean. And I was popular. Like, I'm not being like a smug fuck. Like, oh, that's unverifiable. That was 20 years ago. You fucking living in the past, loser. It's like, no, I was cool. I was cool and I still got shit. Like, that's... You know, kids these days would call it haters, having haters or whatever. But, like, no, dude, it was just like... It didn't matter if you were hot shit. People would take shots at you, man. Like, nowadays, it's like people just dogpile each other. It's really unclear. Back then, it was kind of like everyone had like a quick one-liner ready to fire off. Everybody did. Even the slowest fucking kid in your class would be like, your mom. You know, the Nick Shirleys of the world? The racist slow tards? Hi. Somali bad. Somali bad. They tell me say this, do something. I have money. Oh man, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't need to go there. I mean, I don't mean to disparage the differently abled. Okay, that's wrong. But that young man needs to be medically evaluated. Isn't that crazy how, and I'm not going to go on a political thing, but isn't that crazy how if someone is on your side or whatever, it doesn't matter like how fucking, bro, they're super stupid, but they're on my team, so, oh, that guy is cool. No, I would be like, he does not represent us. It's that easy. It's that easy. Holy shit. So, dude, that crackhead almost walking the street, man. Oh, shit. Yeah, I'm in the downtown. Oh, there's that fucking skate park. Hang on. It's just one of these shitty steel ramps with, like, the rubber topping. And, like, a really tweaked fun box that makes no sense. And, like, a bar. But I used to do 360 shoves off the quarter pipe and onto the wedge, and from the wedge onto the quarter pipe. That's always, dude, those were always fun. Or like if there was a skateboard park, because I like skating the street and I'm trying to get back into that shit, like seriously, without like being like a poser ass. I guess at my age it's called a hodad. It's someone who's got all the gear but can't fucking do anything. It's called a hodad. Yeah. Shit, but those tricks are the most fun. If there's a skateboard park that has a roll-in, I like to go up the roll-in and then do a 180. Either I'll do a front side grab or a back side grab or a pop shove it. Not even like a heel flip or a kick flip. Not just the scoopy tricks. Like, it's just because it feels so lofty. And it's so fun to land on the face of a quarter pipe. Because I'm not a mini ramp skater. I don't know vert stuff. I don't know certain disciplines of skateboarding. So when I put a trick down on a wall, it makes me feel like Tony Hawk. It's so interesting to me. Because it's like, wait, these guys do this the whole time going back and forth. I just did it in a transition and it felt tough, dude. It felt tough to do a backside grab 180. Do some early grabs. Do that gorilla double grab, nose tail, man. What are those called? What are those fucking called when you grab the nose and the tail? Are those called? Oh, that's not gorilla jumps. Fuck. See, I would do all these tricks in a game of skate that are old, that are like old school. And look, I'm not even showing the scenery. Oops. I haven't had the camera switched, and we're supposed to be like driving around and shit. Old Victorian neighborhood. So yeah, that skate park that I just was like blah, 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 blah about is in the old Victorian neighborhood. I don't know. I like this place. I definitely don't want to die in my hometown. Okay, I want to like get money and go somewhere, right? Or do something. But it's definitely a place to kick it. Like, it's interesting. I think I'm gonna get up to the highway and hang a left, and we'll start our journey to the office. But it's a little interesting little place, and I appreciate you guys coming in to my stream. Thanks for checking me out. I am a weird dude, but if you stick around, you might get my sense of humor. And you know, if you're younger, you might like my brain rot jokes, because before the youngsters had this brain rot, we had you know, like a early Adult Swim. Like, we would watch Tim and Eric. They're like masters of jump cuts, and like the silly and the suspense, and the people are like, this is so stupid, how does this work? And it's like, because it's like one part mockery of public access TV, that's like the suspension of reality, and then you throw in the really like bizarre stuff, and it's quasi believable, because it's like, oh, you know, I could see this. Like, there was a public access show in like Colorado called Food Party. Oh my fucking god, that was like acid and NyQuil at the same time. It was like taking a deliriant. You know how kids die on Benadryl because they're stupid? It's like taking a massive dose of a deliriant and then tripping at the same time. Or like hippie flipping. Dude, I'm passing the clock place. The one from my story that got raided when I was sleeping on the... Dude, it smelled bad in there. I'm not gonna lie. But that's where I'm gonna turn around at. That's where I'm gonna turn around at. Is the clock repair shop that got raided. Oh my god, you guys. My 20s... My late teens and 20s were a blur. I'm not trying to brag like I'm a tough guy. Like, oh man, I'm such a party animal. No, dude, I was just around some strange and possibly dangerous people. Okay? Like, I have some of these party things and some of these stories where it might seem like I'm being braggadocious. Dude, just the wild fucking people in this neighborhood. And, like, some of those people went to the private school that I was forced to go to most of my life. So it's like you got a weird mix of like low income bad kids that like steal and gangbang and fucking, you know, smoke weed or whatever, you know, painting the picture here. And then you've got kids from like South Barrington, which is like really rich, like not just rich, but like television rich, and like fucking, you got those kids trying to kick it with like the thug ass kids, and they gotta prove themselves, and it's just like a weird environment. You know, you at least once a week I was having one of those kids ride with me and having a culture shock experience, like in the hood. They're like, what? I'd be like driving with my knees and rolling a blunt, and they're like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm rolling up a fatty. You trying to hit this? And they're like, you're doing drugs and driving? I was like, no, bro, we're gonna go to the movies, or we're gonna go to the skate park, okay, man? Oh, man, and this one kid, we'll call him Jack, because I'm not gonna use anyone's real name here. Well, Jack transferred from like another school in a really bad small town called Alton, which is down south by like past St. Louis. Super high crime rate, known to be racist, just a very dangerous place to live. It's a cute small town, like, but once you go past the main stretch, that's it. So he was kicking it with us, and he liked listening to some hip hop music, and he was all like, yo, whatever, and like Young Jeezy just dropped some fucking fire shit or whatever, like, and we were like, whatever, we weren't, I wouldn't always thump rap all the time, even though I like it. I wouldn't thump rap all the time, because I had that kid with me, and he was like, he's like, no, I love this shit. And I was like, yeah, dude, but like you bopping to this versus me bopping to this, man, people are they're gonna notice the way you walk. And so like we're just walking around, bro. This kid Jack, we'll just call him Jack. When I like offered him weed, he was like, oh hell no. No, man, I don't know. And I was like, we just like listened to so many rap songs talking about smoking weed and getting money and fucking bitches or whatever. We just listened to so many rap songs talking about holding it down, slinging those drugs and shit. Like, I'm generalizing. I do love a lot of rap. I'm generalizing, but I just thought it was so fucking backwards that the kid that loved hip hop and loved, like, who was down with the culture or whatever, he's like, yeah, dog. Oh, snap, is what he would say, because but then out of nowhere he would say, fuck. he was so PG rated, and then he out of nowhere he would drop a fucking F-bomb or something. It would throw you off guard. But anyway, I was like, hey, Jack, you want to hit this? And he's like, no way, man. I was like, come on, man, live the lifestyle you're trying to, that you think is cool in your rap music, dude. But I think, no, Akon and Young Jeezy just come out with that song. If you're looking for me, I'll be on the block with my thing cocked, with my cock. Wait. With my thing cocked, sitting on a drop. Yeah, wait, how does it go? Because I'm a survivor. I'm a soul survivor. Oh shit, I can't remember how that song goes. It was kind of corny, but we used it in like a BMX skate video for like a tricks montage. But that song was hot. So it was that album, and we were thumping like Jeezy and like T.I. and stuff, and like I kept rolling them blunts, and he's like, nope. I said, dude, you're already in the car with me. Just hit it. Nope. And I wasn't pressuring him to do it. I was just like, hey man, like, you want to be big dog? Hit this fucking OG Kush, man. No, you know what was popular actually when I was 18? You know what was popular when I was 18? Damn. Oh, no, the left turn thing is shut down because there's a train there and it's full. So, dude, I got to take the back way. We're already, like, moving. We got to, like, get to work, dude. Sorry, I distracted myself. That pissed me off that there's a metro right there and I can't turn right now. Yep. Good old Jack. Not his real name, because I'm not going to say it, but he would be like, oh, snap, guys. What are we doing today? And he was one of those kids that transferred from a different kind of small town, which is funny because where he came from, Alton, Illinois, is actually, like, pretty high crime, and there's no way he was never exposed to just cannabis over there. Like, it's pretty... For a rural area, it's pretty hood, man. I don't know, man. You got pockets like Aurora, Kankakee. Over here in Elgin, man. Over here in Elgin used to be kind of a problematic spot, dude. I know. I was one of the people slinging. Oh, I just passed the apartment where the Juggalo. Oh man, I'm telling you guys. I've retold some of my things that I've lived through, like at the bar and shit, or wherever, bowling alley when I was younger, while I was living it, and people were like, dude, you gotta tell people these funny stories. I'm like, no, man, I don't care. I don't want to be famous. They're like, no, dude, like, do you have YouTube? And I was like, no, I don't do that stuff. I just upload gaming videos. This was before my old channel got deleted, right? My old channel had 1,000 subscribers on it. Now it's a real slow climb starting over. But what was I saying? Something about YouTube. And people are just like, you gotta tell your funny stories to the world. And I honestly thought that they were just blowing smoke up my ass, and like, they're like, when will this guy shut up? And they're just laughing at my jokes to be polite. I didn't realize I actually like held an audience. I thought I was just some kind of jackass. That's what happens, you know, like the first half of my life after a first traumatic event, I had like imposter syndrome. I would have, okay, before my eyes fucked on me, I would hop into a Gears of War, and like how you could only get 4 kills around max because it was 4v4 teams on Warzone and Execution. Okay, I'd end up having like 50 kills at the end of the match, be like a 10 round or 19 round match, and I'd like have no deaths, just dialed in with red bar bullet lag, yellow bar bullet lag, and I would just play smart, and I would get wild with it, because back in first Gears, you could only just put your sensitivity up at low, medium, high. Your vertical is locked, and it's like kind of faster. That's not, you know, in UE it's not like that, but in Gears 1, if you load it up, it's like that, and you basically just have to like adapt to how the game is. So like when Gears 2 came out, and like I could adjust like my vertical sensitivity and my horizontal sensitivity, and like actually start to map out my controller better for my playstyle, that's when damage started to get done. But Gears 2, when it released, I was one of the people, and I still get hate for shitting on Gears 2. But people don't realize that even though Gears 2 is a breakthrough, the campaign is great, the tone of the campaign, the world building, the cinematics, the music, the characters, the progression. It's a great game. It's just not my favorite because when it launched, the multiplayer was a little bit janky and unfinished. Okay, that's an understatement. It was fucked up. You could walk through walls, you could do shield glitch, you could bounce, you could stun people with a smoke grenade and they ragdoll and fall on the ground, and then you could snipe them. And it wasn't just like fall down, get up animation. It was like fall down, 1, 2, then your character started to get back up when you're mashing the button. And so you could shoot people when they were laying on the floor, like crime scene all splayed out. And so like there were so many people that just shit all over the game, and there were that divided the fan base. There were people like, how can you shit on the new Gears game? It's another Gears game, and it's so good. The boss fights, everything, it's so good. That's because us fucking sweaty multiplayer guys, we're like, yes, new weapons, new maps. Just like being able to cover cancel in your wall bounce was new. Because in Gears 1, you had to dedicate. You're just smashing A or smashing X, right? If you're on alternate. And you kind of use the thumbstick and you can pull off. And if you get the timing right, you'll go boom, 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 boom. It's not the most graceful looking movement. But in Gears 2, that's when the full wall bounce started. And I love Gears of War. You could be casual, you can be sweaty, you could be PvE, PvP, doesn't matter. I love Gears of War. But if you get online and you say, well, I used to love this game, but then sweaty players started wall bouncing and shit, and then that's not really Gears, and then I stopped playing. You never played. If you never learned how to strafe, bounce, move, roll, pop out of the corners, and take someone by surprise, you never played the game. And by that I mean, like, you never played it enough to, like, be a Gears head. I went from Halo 2 to Gears of War. To think of that jump. So, like, I hate when people are like, oh my god, these guys are wall bouncing. Okay. If you don't prefer to play that way, then center lane and catch the wall bouncer. Don't complain. Adapt. But also, like, people acting like wall bouncing is toxic. You don't know the fucking game. It's part of the fucking game. There's a reason why in the second game they loosened it up and allowed you to cover cancel. They saw what players were doing already with the mechanic. And they're like, let's smoothen this up a little bit. I don't know. This is a good rant today, but I don't know. I wish I had something more important to say. I'm really sad and I miss my friend. It would be so rad to have them here for E-Day. And guys, don't forget to tune in. I'm going to be streaming live Sunday, June 7th. Okay? I am going to be live reacting to the Xbox Live coverage. There's going to be announcements about E-Day and possibly announcements about Gears of War 6. Yes, that I'm so glad that it's not just a rumor. People are like leak confirmed, because I didn't want to just have a prequel be the new game. I wanted a new game to come out. So we're going to get a Gears of War 6 and we're going to get a prequel E-Day. That's fucking sick. So I don't know if there's going to be a simultaneous launch. Probably not. But here's the thing. Modern gaming got me fucked up. Like, games are just dead, and I can't find North American servers usually. Games are just dead quickly these days. I hope when Gears 6 comes out, because I'm obviously it's probably going to come out after E-Day. Is everyone going to leave E-Day to play Gears of War 6? Or will we find ourselves like back in the era, like when we switched between Halo and Gears and Counter-Strike, and we're like, those were still all like in the rotation? Is it gonna be like that? We'll just be like, hey, do you want to get on this Gears for this game type? You know, maybe they'll bring back Beast Mode. That was like, it was corny, it was cheesy, but it was so cool to play as the bad guys. Uh-oh. Hey, those of you who are here, either laughing at me or listening to me, can you double tap the screen? Can you get that like for me? Just give me that like. If you're gonna sit here and, you know, kind of laugh at me anyway. Come on now. Hit that like, man. I can't see the live chat because I'm in widescreen mode. Shit's whacked. But I'm excited about Gears of War. Even though I didn't want a prequel. Like, that's fine. That's my opinion, man. But I think a lot of other Gears players didn't really, like... We didn't necessarily need to play as the younger... It was kind of interesting, that part being mysterious and just in the books. But I mean, I guess it'll be neat to play through, because we'll see Marcus before before he's like before he's completely stoic and like emotionless from everyone dying around him. Maybe he'd be like a little bit more like feisty and like different, you know. Maybe he'll be like it'll show like Marcus before his like heart was broken. Is it before Carlos died? You know, I always say the weird shit like, oh, Carlos. That's because that's some of the retcon lore from the books. Is Carlos is Dom's older brother, and he got killed during an operation with Marcus, and Marcus never really told him what happened. It's part of the retcon lore from the books are actually pretty good. You know, like even some of the Halo books are okay, but the Gears books are pretty engaging. But I will say, if we're talking about video game book tie-in kind of, Rainbow Six, one of the most acclaimed fucking sweaty competitive shooter games. Rainbow Six Vegas, Rainbow Six, Siege. I have all the... That was a Tom Clancy book. It was literally a book called Rainbow Six about like a special operation. I remember reading most of it and then being like, this is boring, and then reading Fear and Loathing in America. Oh man. Yeah, I talk about drugs too much. Blame Hunter S. Thompson. Blame Hunter Thompson. But really, I only care about the drugs that make a difference for mental health. Weed, mushrooms, acid. That's all I care about. If you do anything else, I'm gonna call it poison. You know? Oh, but you're not sober. Yeah, California sober. Things that come from the fucking earth. But LSD doesn't come from... Yes, it does. Yes, it does. It's just the removing and the synthesis of something that's naturally occurring. It's dimethylene, it's lysergic acid dimethylene, I think. I should know my stuff, you know what I mean? I've eaten enough of it. Heroin, life-destroying shit. Dumb. Pills, life-destroying shit. Dumb. Fucking cocaine, life-destroying shit. Fucking dumb. Beer, alcohol, life-destroying shit. Fucking dumb. Like... Oh, you dumb, dirty, hippie douchebag. You can't just put a weed band-aid on everything. No! Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Have you actually tried, other than like your friends egging you on to do a massive bong rip and then you feel scared and you're too high and it's uncomfortable or whatever? No, shut up. Put down the benzodiazepine and fucking rip some indica. Dead ass. Hit some sticky Afghan black. Hit some GMO. Okay? Hit some of that fucking low down, dirty, eyelid pulling, goddamn gooey, couch locking, falling asleep during the day, motherfucking filled with CBD and CBN, fucking couch potato nap, goddamn insert bad word here, laying in a hammock, motherfucking dank. Smoke some of that. Get those fucking mood stabilizing pills. They bind to the receptors in your head that are responsible for dopamine and serotonin uptake and distribution. You keep ping, 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 ping. You keep pinging those. You know how people are like iPad kids, instant gratification. The new generation can't read. Yeah. Ping, 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 ping. That's every time you take one of those, It works by hitting those receptors. That's why people get hooked and depressed on painkillers, the opioid kind, because when they take OxyContin or hydrocodone, it's not just alleviating their pain through the blood-brain barrier, it's going into their opioid receptors. I forget which one specifically, but it's like satisfying that itch, dude. And the more you overuse these things in your brain that are there for dopamine, serotonin, and whatever the other chemical, oxytocin, and all the good, happy, joy-creating things. If you take Adderall too much, you're damaging the joy-creating things. Okay. You know how people who get serotonin storm, they almost die. People who take Molly or ecstasy too much damage their ability to be happy. Do you see why weed, mushrooms, LSD, that's like the perfect, it's like the perfect, oh, this can't kill you, this can't hurt you, perfect. Oh, but dude, people have died on psychedelic. Yeah, if you never done it and you like ask your dealer, hey man, what do I do? And then he's like, I don't know, take the whole bag, I don't know. And then you take off your clothes and run into the highway and get run over. That's not the substance killing you, that's you killing you. Okay, we could talk about safety and how it's education, right? I'm all about harm reduction, but honestly, I've been looked down at my whole life. You dumb fucking pot pusher, stoner, you can't just smoke your problems away. But it's like, no. But if you have inflammation in your knees and you have chronic pain and it's like fucking hard to get out of bed, yeah, you won't damage the receptors in your brain on opioids and synthetic opioids. Sorry, I didn't mean to get ranty about that, but it's just I know a lot of people that are just like medicated to the gills, and like one joint could like be like, oh, I don't feel like dying anymore. But because of like moral stipulation or perceived stigma, they'll never touch this shit. And it's fucking sad. I thought pot was for losers when I tried it. I was like, what is this fucking dumb kid in my class talking about? Okay, I can do this. You mean I can be calm? Everything's in slow motion? And I remember, I will never forget. I was like 14 or 15 and I like hit this fucking crude ass fucking joint. And I landed a skateboard trick I've been trying to get for a while, and I said, nope. I said, this can be a lifestyle choice. I said, time slowed down and I didn't feel anxious. Okay. All right. I can do this. But yeah, man, it's sad. It's really sad how the legal hemp and cannabis industries are still under attack, and like big tobacco and alcohol has been releasing. I don't know if you've seen maybe 5 or 6 months ago all the articles about cannabis hyperemesis syndrome. It's not real, so don't listen to it. In rare cases, people have it, and it's something that people who smoke so many cigarettes get, because you're leaching vitamin C out of your body and you're just inhaling vast amounts of tar. Like, a lot of weed resin stays in the joint, doesn't deposit in your lungs. Tobacco smoke is like cool, and you just get a huge rip and it's just like tar there. And so there's and they tried to use that as like a smear against marijuana. Hey, dude, if you're smoking street carts and then you feel sick and you want to throw up, you're smoking street carts. And a lot of it has to do with legal weed. It has to do with weed becoming legal, and new people getting into it. Maybe their pipe, like okay, they cleaned their pipe with the rubbing alcohol, didn't get it all out. Like, it's like there's new people. You ever go to someone's house and their bong is so dirty and you're like, yeah, I just smoked, I don't need to hit that. Right? Well, the new people that just started smoking weed, there's people that, dude, don't believe the smear campaigns. Unless it's happening to you and you have a confirmed case of it, don't believe that shit. People have bongs and pipes caked in resin and mold, and then they go, oh, I think weed is making me sick. You have mold in your piece. You would not, dude, you'd not believe how common that disgust. Like, I go to someone else's house, hey bro, you want to smoke? When you pick up a sack or whatever, you would drop off a sack, or you want to smoke, and then you look at the pipe and it's just so dirty. And we're not talking about like a week's worth or even 2 weeks worth of like use where your pipe turns black and then you got to put it in the rubbing alcohol and start over. I'm talking about like just used and scraped, used and scraped, used and scraped. Barely room for the smoke to come through. You know, it's just gross as fuck, man. So don't believe that hypermesis bullshit. It's bullshit. It has to do with chronic over smoking and smoking only carts, and if you do a lot of edibles, you get that too. It's pretty sad. It's pretty sad that we have people misusing cannabis and then going, it's making me sick. And then the media is like, yeah, let's run with this, because tobacco and alcohol sales are down so fucking much. It's incredible. Dude, we're still gonna be early. We are still gonna be early, dude. Dude, I hope someone notices my content. I have mad ideas. I got hella ideas. Cooking in here. I'm just really sad. Like and subscribe for a happy time. Like and subscribe for a happy time. The pills will kill you. They'll kill you, you see. It's not conspiracy. They just want money to give us poison. I know, it's so cliche. Like, it's like the corporations, man. It's like, unchecked capitalism is like fucking out of control, man. No, it's not just your dumb hippie cousin saying it now. Society is crumbling because capitalism was allowed to go a little too far without checks and balances. But why do you hate on the only system in the most super powerful country in the... Shut up. Shut up. The more power that goes away from individuals, that imbalance is like that's old as time. Bad things happen. It's not okay for corporations or companies, a fucking building with machines in it, to have more rights than a fucking person. That's not... Something's wrong. I know, like, Jesus Christ. And that's one thing that the oligarchs don't understand about their own capitalism. If the peasants don't have any fucking money to fucking buy shit, and to get treats, to get toys, to buy a new video game, to go out to eat, then your whole fucking system collapses. You can get more rich, yeah, but no, the peasants aren't paying into the system. Things are going to shut down. You're going to have to rely solely on your corruption and solely on your world map bullying and bombing for that shit. I don't know. I think I sound like a boomer. They don't make things like they used to. No, stuff is shit now. Food tastes like shit. Things are made of shit and they break. Like, a little bit of planned obsolescence is okay if, you know, the technology for the next TV is only a few years away. Okay, that's fine. This TV is not the same kind of, no, now it's this. All right, a little bit of planned obsolescence. Not, oh, I gotta get a new phone every year. Fuck that. Fuck that. Capitalism's gone too far. I'm just, you know, I'm one of those disgruntled Joe Blows. I make more money than most people and I could barely support myself. You know? Like, it doesn't hurt my ego as a man to fucking admit that out loud, because it's a greater symptom of a sick and struggling society. When I was fresh out of, like, when I was, like, going to community college, alright? Things were so cheap, I could just, like, be like, I have a $20 bill. Okay? I can... Let's say I had 50 bucks. Holy shit, I was bawling if I had 50 bucks in my pocket. Okay? Because back then, just I'm talking like 2007, 2008, you can go in the store with the 20 or the 50, you could do some damage. What the fuck? You could do some damage, dude. No, I'm not an unsafe driver or anything. This guy just went shoop across all the lanes in a yellow sports car. That was really scary. Jesus Christ. Thank God I have my dash cam. So, like, where was I? You could do some damage. So if you had $20, you could take a girl on a date. You can buy some smoke. You can get some, like, sodas and, like, a fast food. And you got money left over to get a wristband to go to the fair. There used to be more stuff to do. That's another one of my fucking Peter Griffin, it really grinds my gears. There used to be stuff to do. Stuff used to be open overnight. Now people are, like, overworked for, like, slave wages, and no one wants to fucking do that. Dude, I used to make friends with the fucking people who overnighted at the Taco Bell, you know? I'd get off of work at my job or whatever, grinding, you know? And I'd be like, hey, man, you know, like... I remember this was one of the weirdest fucking things. I was at the Taco Bell in one town, and then it was this blonde-haired hippie dude, right? And he was from the other town. I said, hey, you transferred? Yeah, man. I'm staying over here, man. I was like, dude, I stay over here. What's up? What's good? What's good, my cracker? Like another, like, surfer dude, right? I was like, what's good, my cracker? And, like, I was like, oh, man, we're out of weed. And then the guy at the drive-thru was like, I have weed. And I was like, I don't have that much money right now, you know? And he's like, well, what you got, man? And, like, we had some of that stuff that gives you brain damage, spice. We didn't know any better. We had it from the head shop. It was just in, like, our bag, like, in the weed bag. We didn't really have an intention of I think it was K2. Oh, there were a couple of times oh, man, that brings me back. K2. You guys remember K2? Oh, my God. I've only done spice a few times and was mostly peer pressured into trying it. But that's another story for a different time. So we had a bag of that shit, and he goes, I got 2 grams of strawberry cough. I said, oh, we got 2 baggies of this. He goes, you know what? He goes, I got a guy who loves that shit and can't find it anywhere. Because that was when they first started banning it. And I said, okay, well, I got 2 bags of it. And he gave me a 3.5 of strawberry coffee. We rolled up. Oh my God, that was a crazy night. Just weird, weird, weird interactions with people. And that's what I kind of like. Oh, you talk about pot all the time, but then you say it's not your whole personality. Oh, okay, loser. But like, there's something about the lifestyle that was like, you can't replicate it now with all the legal weed. Like, you would have to go to weird places and meet strange people. You have to use your street smarts. You maybe have to get out of there. You have to like, you know, even if you have an established pluggy like I had for so many years, he might run out one day and say like, bro, I just ran out, I'm waiting on my guy. And then you're like, okay, I'm not itching like a crackhead, I'll wait. You text him again or call him again, and maybe this was before text messages, it's showing my age. And then you just say, hey, you're out still? Oh, I'm out. And then you gotta like see someone else, so you call your friend who also smokes, and then he goes, hey, my guy's got some lemon kush, but we have to go meet him over here at his mom's house or whatever. Okay. And then you're just like, you're sitting like in like a basement, and you know, sometimes it's a real fly, real cool thing. Just some hippie guy comes out and be like, yo, what's up? And then you give him the cash and you get the goods. But sometimes it was just so fucking weird. And like I said, it brought me to all these weird places, like the clock repair shop, the apartment above the clock repair shop, and the place next to the smoke shop where the shaved head juggalo lesbians lived. It smelled really bad, like animal shit. But you know what? I had to get a sack. It's not so much about like weed. It's just like a weird bygone lifestyle now. Hey, meet me by the Walgreens, bro. Every single time you needed to get weed, it felt like an adventure. It felt like I'm fucking Scarface with 1 gram. Like, cause it was just like the thing, like, oh, maybe you pop in a 7-Eleven and grab a soda, you know, and then, you know, you get change and you got perfect cash for your guy, and then he rolls up and, yo, what's good, you know, and then maybe you go and like, it's a little trip, it's like a little fun, and then like mental health wise, it like gets you out of the house too, and you're like, I want to try this new one, and then you might try it in the wild, and you're like, whoa, I'm high now, and this is crazy, and then you're like, I'm gonna go do putt golf. And by the way, guys, there's the yellow car that cut off all traffic. Wait. There's the yellow car that cut off all traffic. Look at this bitch. He's going into the same business park as me. What a bitch. Fucking bitch. Now the whole internet knows he's a fucking bitch. So anyway, I don't know if this rant had any structure to it. Not a lot of the shit I say in the morning is very coherent, but you hear it. And two people were in my live for like 40 minutes. Are you okay? Oh, am I okay? Hell no! One of my best friends died. I'm not okay. I'm still me. I'm still like, hey guys, what's up? I like to have fun. But god damn, there's a lot of shit going through my head. Are you guys excited about the new Gears game? Alright, guys. I've got to finish my drink and go pee-pee. So, when I'm done with this, Monster, hook a cracker up with a sponsorship. Right? Please, please? Look, I got this gross, like, middle school dance. Oh my god, fears it. Oh no, I was never like that. I didn't go to prom or the dance or whatever. I went to, like, one of the homecoming things because this girl I liked said, hey, let's go. But, god damn, was that shit boring. Like, I'm not like, yo, Mr. Thuggy McFucking Thug, dude. I'm not, like, out here like Crip Mac. But, dude, as, like, a white guy from, like, the streets, like, I did not fucking jive with it. It was so boring. And, like, it was so restricted because it was the religious school. I'm like, why would you want to celebrate, like, the end of high school, graduate, like, getting the fuck out of the education prison? Why would you want to celebrate that with, like, a boring night where you have to pay for flowers or whatever the fuck? And it's just like even the girl that I liked and was, like, kind of on and off with at the time was like, yeah, prom. I don't want to go to prom. You know? And, like, so instead of going to prom, we went to the mall until it closed, and we hung out at the arcade, and then we went, like, fucking, we ended up, oh no, wait. There was one year where we crashed the seniors prom. We went to their venue, and we got them to serve us alcohol. And it was scandalous. It was scandalous, and we got the whole school in trouble. So they were at, like, this banquet hall. I'm not going to name the banquet hall. It's an interesting place. It's cool. It's got, like, a old-timey, old Western, like, outside. It looks like a ghost town. And you go in there, there's, like, a full liquor bar or whatever. But, like, that was, like, a different part. We rented out the seniors rented out the dance floor, and I think I was, like, a junior. And I was friends with all the older kids because that's just kind of like how it was back then. If you were, like, a little bad seed, like, the big kids would be like, hey, dude, come sit with us. And we crashed their prom, and we were just in there, like, separate, and we're like, hey, we're not with the party. Like, do you know, like, can we just get a drink, dude? Like, and what the funniest part was we didn't pay for the alcohol. Because even though it was a prom and they didn't pay for it, like, included with, like, the rent was the open bar. I get it was just, like, in the fine print. It was, like, the whole thing, the whole rent. And so I said, oh yeah, we're not with the high school. We're older than them, and we're some of their older brothers here, and or something, like, because we always had facial hair, you know, and the dumbass motherfuckers didn't realize we were teenagers, and they're like, what do you want? And one kid was like, a pina colada. Like, what do you say? Like, and then, like, just random shit, and they could have just been like, oh, you guys are kids, and you're just naming the liquor, you know. Like, no. So I got that Jägermeister, brother. And then I don't know who told. This is what pissed me off, is, like, we never even got outed or seen. So that means one of the kids that did it with us told. To this day, I don't know who told. We didn't really get in trouble because we got the fuck out of there. My name never got named, but one of the kids was like, the bartender gave us alcohol. Or, like, I have no idea what they said, but. And then they were never allowed to have prom there again. Good times, good times. Although I don't advocate for the use of alcohol, for some reason back then when I was younger, maybe it was the way my body metabolized it, it was just different. Because now when I drink liquor, I get either sick, really sick feeling, or I just get really tired. It doesn't, like, it's super apparent after all these years of being a degenerate pothead that it's just like hella poison, and that being intoxicated, its namesake, it just makes you feel until your body burns it off. Like, if I go bowling, I might get a drink or two though. If I'm bowling, something about being in the dark light. But even though I don't advocate it, there was one time where we were at Meijer. One of the older kids that my older sibling knew worked at Meijer in the gas station. And he's like, dude, I'm working till like 10 p.m. We're like, dude, you're supposed to buy us some liquor. Like, what gives, man? And he's like, well, fucking, I have to work till... I was like, just buy it for us out the gas station. And he's like, no, dude, the camera, I gotta do it the right way. I gotta go to self-checkout and then, like, just drive you guys over to my crib or whatever, like, however we did it. And so we were waiting. And this is one of those struck by lightning kind of moments. We all looked at each other like, what the actual goddamn fuck? Is this a time slip? We're at Meijer, we're dumb kids, we were loitering, playing the video game demos, and, like, you know, grabbing Mountain Dews and shit, and, like, we were just snacking, we were kind of loitering. We knew another kid that worked at the store, so we were, like, hanging out by the bakery area, and there was, like, carts. There was, like, the carts area, and there was, like, tables to sit for, like, a cafe. So we weren't necessarily loitering in a spot, like, we were just hanging out in the store, making people feel uncomfortable. We were kind of like, you know, we were tucked to the side. So we're watching people come in and out the door, and there's this blonde woman. It's like cold outside. It's like February, I think. It was like freezing, right? There's this blonde woman in, like, a brown coat with, like, jeans on and, like, some, like, nice boots or whatever. And they're walking towards the door that's the inn door, and they're exiting. And we're like, that lady's gonna run into that door. How funny would that be? And the woman, boom, into the door, face first. We all get a chuckle out of it, but we realize it's embarrassing, so we're like, dude, don't look. So we look away, and we're like, you know, we give the woman her dignity. You know, sometimes that shit happens. I've run into something before. It all, you know. We look back, and we see a different blonde woman dressed in, like, almost exactly the same outfit run into the same door. And we're like, did that just happen? We're, like, looking at each other. We're, like, looking at each other, and one kid's like, dude, we gotta stop smoking weed. Dude, to this day, it was one of the weirdest things. It was one of the weirdest things I've ever, like, I've had some glitch in the Matrix moments, some, like, unexplainable or no, or what the hell, like, you just drop something and it disappears kind of moments. But seeing the lady run into the door, and then we're like, guys, don't stare. And then we looked back and we saw, and it was a different person because they were a different build, like different height, like different. And it was just like, but there was an uncanny resemblance to the person. And then they ran into the door also. And I'm like, what the fuck? The exit's right there. So they must have come out of the restroom, took a hard right. Like, I come out of the bathroom that's in the mezzanine, or not the mezzanine, like the front, and then shoot, and then turn. Oh my god. Okay, so it's 6:20. I gotta go punch in and whatever, start my day, right? My actual hours, on my shipping dock, because I do clerical work and stuff like that. There's a truck here already, and my hours don't start till 7 a.m. He's about to go ring the doorbell and ask to be unloaded. So I'm gonna have to go do that. So much for whatever the fuck I was saying. Thanks for watching my unhinged rant this morning. Being able to just mouth diarrhea and just say weird random things and link them together, it helps me oddly in my grieving process, and just helps me, like, get my brain online in the morning. I'm not always going to do these vlog style videos because they're stupid and cringy and vulnerable, but I like them now because I get traffic and I get people coming to my lives and I get more subscribers that way. Hopefully you're viewing my main content centered around Gears of War and silly jokes. But that being said, I really gotta go. Thanks for watching. I gotta peace out.